Okay, we're recording.
Okay, great. All right, so this is for my channel, Peacemakers Ministries, and we have Dr. Stacy Yeager on today, and she's going to be sharing with us some great information about Black breastfeeding, mothers who breastfeed, and we're just going to go through a few questions and just a few scriptures for you guys. So we're going to start off with you, Dr. Yeager. Could you tell us a little about yourself?
Sure, yes. I'm Dr. Stacy Yeager, and I am the founder of Black Families Do Breastfeed. And the reason why it's called Black Families Do Breastfeed is because we like to provide education to both the moms and dads. And basically, for the past decade, I've been a business owner, entrepreneur, mom, wife, sister, friend, and from that, I've just expanded into the area of breastfeeding education. My primary job is I'm a MBA director as well as professor. So that is what I do for my full-time job. But really have a passion for helping educate moms in the community.
Awesome. Okay, and could you give us a little info about your breastfeeding journey? How long have you been breastfeeding, or how many children have you breastfed?
Yes, so I have two children, and I breastfed both of them over 2 years. I breastfed my son for 3 years. Actually, I created Black Moms Do Breastfeed 3 months after my son was born. And the reason for that is because when he was born, there was a lot of complications and difficulties trying to breastfeed. And I
Mm,
said, you know what, I need some support. And
yeah.
that was back in 2013. And back then, Facebook wasn't as popular and didn't have as many groups back then. And I said, where can I find a group? And so one of my friends said, why don't you just create one yourself? I said, okay. So that's what I did. So since for the past 7 years, I've been leading the breastfeeding group of almost 100,000 women.
Wow, that is beautiful. I'm so grateful for your group. Actually, I've gotten a lot of inspiration, and I've also directed a few other friends to your group who have gotten some inspiration from your group as well. So
Good.
that is awesome. All right. So our next question I have is, what advice would you give to women who feel they are unable to breastfeed? I know I have quite a few friends who, well, not quite a few, just a couple in particular that said that they were unable to breastfeed. And I'm not sure because I haven't done my own studies on it in particular, but I was wondering if maybe hydration or diet, do you think has anything to do with lack of lactation?
Well, we know that all moms can breastfeed, and it may look a little different. The main reasons why a lot of women have problems with breastfeeding is due to lack of proper education and support. And we know that sometimes babies are even born with a tongue or lip tie, which makes it difficult. You'll hear stories like you say you didn't have any problems. Many women do not experience any problems while trying to breastfeed. However, there's about 30% of women who have babies who may have a lip or tongue tie. And so that truly makes it more difficult for them to breastfeed, as well as we know a small percentage of women, maybe about 2 to 3%, are born with low producing ducts for
Mm,
breastfeeding. So that may cause complications, and then the doctor has to work with them, and there's medication for that. So, what we recommend is that you meet with a professional IBCLC, and that's the internationally board certified lactation consultant. And they are able to truly troubleshoot with you, be there hand in hand. And we encourage women that there is no magic bullet. So you can eat and drink a whole bunch of stuff. And of course, we know some effects may happen to the body. But for a lot of women, it's like it's still not working. Is it me? What's going on? So we don't
mm,
say there's a magic bullet. What we say is work with a professional so we can help you move through your breastfeeding journey how you like to see it. And those who may be born with trouble or complications, they may pump and exclusively pump for their babies rather than direct nursing, that's still breastfeeding. Giving
Hmm.
breast milk is still breastfeeding. And so we also like to encourage women that no matter how you, whether you breastfeed chest to chest or pump and breastfeed, that's still breastfeeding. We
Hmm.
don't exclude women like that.
Right. That's awesome. So that's really great advice to give because I have my mother-in-law actually is a person who's told me that she tried to breastfeed with both of her sons and she wasn't able to get them to latch and they just didn't want to feed. So I wish I had that information before to be able to share.
Yes, and that's why I created the group, because when they have those problems, baby won't latch, then it's okay. Just pump out, hand expression. You don't have to even have a physical pump. You can hand express the milk, and because the baby's tummy is so small, you can feed them out of a cup or a syringe.
Mm.
And until you work with someone to get the latch right, now videos are so prevalent, especially due to COVID.
Yes.
So it's like, watch this video, watch this
Mhm.
step-by-step technique to help with the latching. And of course, like I said, exclusive pumping, some moms try and are really successful in doing it that way.
Right. Okay. Great information. Okay. So, my next question for you is do you believe that donated milk gives the child the same nutrition as they would receive from their own mother?
Yes, actually, donated milk. And when we think of donated milk, we know that generally when you want to accept milk donations for if maybe your baby's in NICU or you're having trouble producing for some reason, we know that we like to first start with close friends and family and then build out the network of who may be able to donate milk. And so mom's milk, it does vary baby to baby. Just
Mm-hmm.
like as a baby gets older, that milk kind of formulates and changes to what the baby needs.
Right.
But as a newborn, as 3 months, 6 months, the milk changes even based on the saliva from a baby. So donated milk is just as good as giving it from the mom's breast. But we also know that a mom will have her milk customized directly for her baby because
Mm-hmm.
of its saliva. That's how we also have the tandem nursing, which moms can breastfeed a newborn and their 1 year old at the same time and get two separate milks from each
Mm.
breast.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, okay. And that's really interesting because that was something I was confused about myself because I'm like I do know that our milk is customized for our child. So like if they're getting sick, they'll produce hormones that will aid in their sickness. So yeah, I didn't know, I wasn't sure that if donated milk would they still be able to provide that same nutrients they need to help with sickness and things like that.
Yes,
So,
and many hospitals who are breastfeeding feeding friendly have a donated milk bank available for NICU
wow.
babies, because we
Wow.
know that mature milk is probably more fatty, more nutrient. Because remember, our breast milk needs enough fat in it to cultivate that brain. And
Hmm.
so many times they may use an older baby's milk for a newborn to get them to gain weight a little faster. And you'll also see this with supplementing, with moms saying, well, my baby's not gaining weight. What can I do? Then we help with solutions to that. But if they're getting donated milk, it'll be, we suggest get one from a mom with an older baby.
Right. Okay. Great information. And I just want to share a scripture that goes along with that because I do want other moms to know that no matter where you are in your journey with breastfeeding, that it's natural that we can do it, and it's even supported by God in our scripture from Exodus 2:9. It says, "And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, 'Take this child away and nurse him for me, and I will give you your wages.' So the woman took the child and nursed him." So we see in biblical times as well is that other people provide milk for other babies as well. So it's natural, it's nothing to be ashamed of, and that's something that is available for mothers who need it. So that's great information you're sharing. The next question I have is, what advice would you give to a woman who has been told her milk is not enough and that she needs to include formula with her breast milk?
And so many times when babies are not gaining weight, that's what she may hear. The reality is we can supplement milk with our own milk. So we have fore milk and hind milk. And so the fore milk, it looks a little more watery when it first starts coming out. And hind milk is the fattier milk. So we want to get to that a little faster. So what we'll tell the mom is maybe hand express, a couple of minutes before she latches on baby, and to give them more of that hind milk, the fattier parts. So that's one way we can resolve that. Another thing is we have to ensure mom is being consistent. A lot of new moms and babies are so tired after birth. Babies don't want to wake up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They would rather sleep sometimes than to eat. And if a mom has had medication, that medication can stay in that baby for a week or more. And so that's why they'll have that sluggish baby, and they're like, my baby just won't wake up. And so what we help them do is remember to wake that baby up every 2 to 3 hours. Don't let them sleep,
Mm-hmm.
for that first month. Wake them up any way you can and have them breastfeed. Also, breastfeed them as often as they want to. Newborn babies love to suck, which is why the fake pacifier, they give it to you in the hospital because they know that baby's going to want to suck so much.
Mm-hmm.
So we tell moms, instead of giving baby a pacifier, have them latch onto the breast, and that will help your body start getting into the rhythm of what your baby needs and wants. And then your baby gets to know you, and then it eventually will balance itself out. There are some cases where, again, you need additional help. And as you mentioned, there's no shame in asking for help. Actually, we want you to reach out to the lactation consultants, your doctor, for your help, rather than just say, oh, I got it, or I'll just give up. Reach out, because we can help troubleshoot a little sooner than if you wait and procrastinate.
Mm-hmm.
But again, many women come back to us even after 3 or 6 months and say, hey, my baby's interested in my breast now. Can I breastfeed them? We say, sure. And it's called
Yeah.
relactation. We latch them back on, and that baby starts breastfeeding like they never were not breastfed.
Right. Okay. Wow. Okay. Because yeah, I know I went through that myself in the hospital when I had my second child. The doctor told me that she was losing weight, her birth weight, and which is normal. And he was trying to force me to give formula, and I told him no, I'm fine. And he kept coming back and trying to offer it, and started getting really like upset with me because I didn't want to try it. And everything turned out just fine. So I just want to be able to encourage other women, because I do have friends who are new moms and they feel like they don't want to do anything wrong. So the safest bet is to just do both, when that's not always the case, that we can breastfeed and we can do it without supplement of other forms of milk.
And I
And
would add
mhm,
that it's important to get a doctor who's breastfeeding friendly.
yeah,
So
it's hard to find that.
one of the questions that you can ask when you're looking for a doctor, say,
Mhm,
hey, I'm really thinking of breastfeeding. How long do you recommend breastfeeding? If they
mhm,
say, oh, well, it's not that important, blah, 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 that's not the doctor for you. Or
mhm,
if they say, go ahead and breastfeed for a year, that way, because remember, a baby must have breast milk or formula for the first year,
mhm,
right? So even if they stop breastfeeding at 10 months, you still will need to give breast milk or formula those next 2 months for proper brain development, right? So
mhm,
you want to look for a physician that says, oh, breastfeed for the first year. We're here to encourage you. We have resources. That's the kind of physician you want for your doctor to be, because
mhm,
that way you know that you have that support. And if you have problems, they're more likely to say, keep at it. Here are some resolutions, or here's some groups that will
mhm.
help encourage you.
Wow, yes, that's great information. I wish I would have known these things with my first baby. I did breastfeed her, but it was very stressful and hard to find help. And at the hospital, the lactation consultants are not always very helpful. So, yeah, so and also along with that, um, I just wanted to include this scripture that I found in Psalm 22:9, where it says, Yet you are he who took me from the womb. You made me trust you at my mother's breast. So even the Bible, our God here is letting us know that we can completely trust the fact that our breast and the milk that we produce is enough for our child, that we can allow them to completely breastfeed and be healthy. And I'm a witness to it. I've done it myself, even though a doctor has told me that I wouldn't be able to. So I appreciate this interview. You have given so much great information. Do you have any last remarks to share with us?
I would just say a couple of things. One, the most important thing about breastfeeding is how it allows our babies to survive. We know that our Black babies die 3 times the rates of white babies here in the United States.
Mm.
Right now, Black women who give birth to healthy babies, um, um, it's sad to say, but we have the death rate, infant mortality of a third world country that has no resources, that has no maybe running water. We have the same death rate for our babies as third world countries. As
Wow.
a fourth world country, it's very important that we understand that there is some bias in the maternal world. And our goal is to help moms understand it's important to be reconnected. So we're asking that moms come back to the village, be in the community, so that if there's problems that come up, reach out to the community and
Mhm.
say, you know what, I'm having pain, I'm having problems, something doesn't feel right. And we as a community, if you hear that, if I hear that, we know how we can get in hold with people and advocate. So we just need to continue to get the word out about that. The next thing is that many moms also pass away during or after birth, and mainly due to lack of proper care for moms or a rushed C-section, too much blood or something. But we know that we can help too by again encouraging moms to stay as healthy as they can during the during their pregnancy, encouraging to move and be active. And even with all that, get a doctor that you trust.
Mhm.
Someone that has a good history of being able to be sensitive to Black moms, the Black culture, so they really won't be as biased when those quick decisions are being made.
Right.
Lastly, we do have Black Breastfeeding Week coming up the 24th to the 31st. We will be hosting a breastfeeding class slash workshop that will be about 3 hours long, and more information will come to that soon. And it's only for $10. And so for
Okay.
$10, like you were saying, you didn't get much education when you were having your baby. Where our
Mhm.
goal is to provide a full workshop for those who are pregnant or those in the area of wanting to help women when they are breastfeeding, so that they can have as much knowledge as they can, as well as written literature that you can download for yourself to be able to help and encourage other moms. So look for that coming, and I'll make sure I share and tag you on that.
Oh, great. Thank you. That is awesome. Wow. You are doing some amazing work, and I appreciate your service.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you for this interview and your time. Congratulations on your beautiful babies and
Thank you.
being able to breastfeed them and spreading the word of God along with breastfeeding. Is so important that we incorporate God in what we do and
Yes.
understand the value of how our life can be enriched with faith, hope, and trust. So I'm just so excited see,
Yes.
to see what your vision is and what you're doing.
Thank you so much. And I'll definitely be sharing all of the upcoming information. I do plan on doing some more videos in regards to healthy family planning and things of that nature. So stay tuned.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you. You have a great day.
You too. Bye.